In this video, we're exploring equilibrium in the supply and demand model. We'll define what equilibrium is, learn how to find it on a graph, and discover how to identify the equilibrium price and quantity, where supply perfectly meets demand.
Equilibrium is how markets bring supply and demand into balance. We have price again on our y-axis and quantity on our x-axis. Downward sloping demand curve, upward sloping supply curve. An equilibrium is going to be a point where there's no tendency for change. It's stable. Everyone's happy. They don't want to change their decision. So buyers can't do any better, and sellers can't do any better if they change their quantity decisions here. Right? So equilibrium is going to happen whenever we have supply crossing our demand curve right there. This will be our equilibrium point. Okay. Equilibrium happens, it's stable, whenever quantity supplied equals quantity demanded. And so let's figure out our price. P star is for equilibrium price. And let's just say that's $80. I'm just making up that number. And we can come down here and get our equilibrium quantity. Q star for equilibrium. And let's just say that's 10 million gallons of gasoline. Okay. Great. So here's our equilibrium. We want it to be clearing the market. So clearing the market means quantity supplied equals quantity demanded. There is no surplus. There is no shortage. Okay. And so quantity demanded, if you put in a price of $80 into demand, quantity demanded is going to be 10 million. If you put $80 into the supply curve, quantity supplied is going to be 10 million. So here we have quantity supplied equals quantity demanded, and we have no surplus or shortage. We have cleared the market, and we're in equilibrium. No one can do any better by changing their quantity decision. Okay. Now we want to think real briefly about surpluses and shortages. If we have a price higher than P star, equilibrium price, we're going to have quantity demanded be less than quantity supplied. And then again, remember, we're going to have a surplus here. And then anytime you have a surplus, buyers and sellers are going to bid down the price. And they're going to keep bidding down the price as long as there is a surplus. And so as long as quantity supplied is greater than quantity demanded, bid down, 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 driving the price down to equilibrium. If you have a price that's low, like P2, bring our price over, we'll have quantity supplied be less than quantity demanded, and we'll have a shortage. And anytime there's a shortage, we talk about the buyers and sellers bidding up the price to try to make sure they get a good. And that's going to shrink this shortage to be smaller and smaller and smaller. And so they're going to keep bidding up the price as long as there's a shortage until quantity supplied equals quantity demanded. So as long as the price is higher than P star, market forces will drive the price down to equilibrium. As long as the price is lower than P star, market forces will drive the price up to equilibrium, and then it'll be stable there. No one can do any better. Market forces won't change this price or quantity anymore. Couple practice questions. Same graph with broiler chickens that we used in the previous video. I would show you a graph like this. It's a pretty basic question, like probably the most simplest question I can ask you on an exam. So these are the easiest question, right? And so the question would be, what is the equilibrium price and quantity? Here's a graph, lots of lines and numbers for price and quantity. You need to realize that the equilibrium happens where supply crosses demand, and you can get equilibrium price of $4 and equilibrium quantity of 150. Another type of question, let's suppose we're looking at this market for broiler chickens at a price of $3. There is a blank, think shortage or surplus, and the market price will blank, increase or decrease to clear the market at equilibrium. So we can look at this $3. We've got quantity supplied,
less than quantity demanded, and that means we have a shortage.
and the price has to rise to get to equilibrium. Okay, and so if we're going to fill in the blanks, we have here shortage, and the price will increase to clear that market at equilibrium.